Ugh. Ugh. Hopefully someone else comes or this meeting will be short. Oh, there's someone. Aaron. Maya plans to use mostly chat tonight to save her voice. Can't hear you. Aaron, I can't hear you at all. Not at all. I can see your lips moving. That's the only reason I know you're talking. You're not muted. Again, let me make sure it's not my headphones. Oh. That's what I was just about to ask. Yeah, can you hear Aaron? No. We have to learn sign language. There were two. Felix and Yoshi were both on the mutual aid meeting tonight. I reminded everybody, so we shall see. I still haven't gotten any replies to any of the emails. There was a band I used to see called The Dead and Gone, and they had a song, "Silence is golden, but duct tape is silver." I always think of that when it's a moment of silence.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yay. Okay, that did the trick.
You're no longer a mute.
Yeah, I had to restart my computer. Sometimes that happens.
I was just on a meeting and that still happens to me sometimes too.
Yeah. We're living in.
No clue if anyone else is coming.
Not a clue.
Yoshi and Felix and I were just on a mutual aid meeting. So I reminded everyone.
Yeah.
Soraya came last week.
Oh, good.
It was just me, Mia, and Soraya.
I don't remember what I was doing last week. Something.
I was in a meeting and I don't remember what I did last.
I can barely remember what I did this morning.
Oh God, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, right?
Well, we did the Lumio polls and the points of unity passed with the shortened version that's on the website, so we don't have to talk about that ever again. Hopefully,
If there's anything on Lumio that I'm outstanding on.
no, there's nothing from it. The other poll was about changing the date from October 29th to November, and November 12th and 19th tied for the win. But it's already almost October, and we have a very small crew. So Mia suggested last week that we just table that until future, or Shannon.
Okay.
So we'll have to
Okay.
discuss that.
Okay.
Just catching you up.
So, I mean, I would say like, if we're not going to be focusing on a social event right now, I think maybe it might be good to see if like any of the people who came to the conference are doing anything. Like if any of the groups have any upcoming events that we can sort of jump in on.
Yeah, that might be a better idea. Just because we have such somebody else joined, he or she. We have such a small capacity right now, or small, very few people involved.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that my personal capacity is basically zip at this point.
Yeah, I got involved in these cleanups.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry about joining late. We usually don't start till 8:05. I was just catching everybody up.
I think this thing just needs to be built up, this capacity thing. And to be honest, I don't think it can be hurried. Like, I just joined the Princeton Mutual Aid group. I live in Princeton, and I went to the picnic, got involved with, got connected them, and then attend their first meeting. And then the second meeting, I used the same meeting link to join, and it was like no one there. And then I learned, well, I don't know what it is for sure, but like my understanding is they do all their organizing in the WhatsApp, and Princeton Mutual Aid itself it has lots of projects, lots of moving parts, and I guess like long story short, like it's taking time to connect to groups. It's just not anything you can say, hey, we have the Solidarity Network NJ come through. Like people have commitments.
Yeah.
But I'm still working on it. Like I hope I can like join the meeting next Monday, and I hope I have the proper joining link. But they organize through WhatsApp, and unfortunately, like I'm unable to. You need a cell service and you need a smartphone to use WhatsApp.
Hey, what's up? The reason we were talking about that is because I'll just catch everybody else up. We had 2 votes last week, and one was just to solidify that the shortened version of the points of unity that are on the website, and that passed. So that's our points of unity now. And we had originally voted for a date for a social event being October 29th. Then it was suggested we move it to November and have an anti-colonialism theme. So we did another poll with October 29th and all the November dates, and November 12th and 19th both won with equal votes. And then it was suggested at the last meeting that because there's so few of us and it's already so close to November, that we just put that on hold, that we kind of cancel a social event for the fall of this year. And work, and then I guess, and then Aaron just brought up, building the network, and going to other groups' events if they have events. I'm going to try to promote it on Sunday. Poor People's Campaign we're having a picnic in Montclair. And a lot of people will hopefully show up to that. So I'm going to try to promote that. And what did we just put in the chat? We should do a virtual event statewide membership drive for all of the groups that we want to participate. We could try that. I mean, we could reach out to all the groups again, maybe in a different way. I think we might just have to have personal connections in the beginning to get people involved, but I think the more different ways we try, the better. A lot of us are kind of at capacity in terms of doing new projects at the moment.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the email list that we have. Actually, Mia, do you have visibility into actually how many people are opening the emails that get sent? Like, are people actually looking at them, or do we know?
There's also two different emails that are sent. There's one that's sent to the whole group, and then there's one that I've been sending weekly just to the people that have come to the planning meetings or expressed interest in still being part of the planning.
Okay.
So the ones you get from me are just there's like, I think 13 people in there. And the other one goes out to the whole network.
Okay. Yeah, because I was thinking if we have the one for the whole network, like, if we can just kind of send out a quick email to everybody saying, hey, are any of you guys working on anything with your respective organizations that could use some help? Nothing more complicated than that. Nothing like trying to get you to do something extra. Just literally saying, if we can we help you with what you're already doing if you have something coming up? And see who responds. Maybe that's enough.
Yes, as we usually do very well with opens.
I mean, does anybody have any objections to doing what I'm talking about?
I don't have any objections to that.
All right, let me see. When was the last email that went out to the whole network? Does anybody know?
Not specifically. Mia said yes. I'm not sure if she was saying yes to objections or yes to knowing when the emails were sent out.
In any case, okay, September 11th. Mia, you are on top. You're the best. That's all I have to say. All right, let me see. Yeah, I'm gonna send out an email right now. It's gonna be like one sentence, and we'll see what happens. Just to get it done, just do something. Holy crap, I have a lot of emails since then. Okay.
I think the whole list of groups is in the drive.
Yeah, I was just gonna use it to kind of copy, like reply all, and then change the whatever.
Mia said she can just give you a login for the email platform.
Okay.
And also individually, just as an ongoing thing, any networks that we personally know, definitely keep reaching out to them.
Yeah. But I think I really think that that's our best way forward at this point, is that we don't have a ton of capacity to plan something new. We're all very busy, but we still want to be building these connections. And I think that the way to kind of do both at the same time is to just see if anybody else is like doing planning, and we can kind of start that as sort of our, you know, our ethos, right? Like we're gonna come join somebody else's event, then hopefully get them to come to somebody else's event, and that's a network. I mean, that's kind of the whole idea, right? Like providing support for each other's work. I think that's what we're kind of all about.
Yeah, if they have virtual stuff, I could usually can try to do.
Yeah, virtual or in person, for some of us, whoever's able to come. Thanks, Mia. Even if we just show up for like, and especially since that'll probably like be a one-off as opposed to requiring somebody to come to a whole bunch of planning meetings or something like that consistently.
Yeah, single events or single campaigns.
Right.
There's going to be a lot going on with voting too. A lot of groups are going to be heavily involved in getting out the vote and stuff over the next month or so.
True. Which, it's funny, like a few years ago, I'd be all about that. And, it's still important, but it's certainly not what I'm focused on. But what I recognize is, Mia says, I feel like we really tried that before with the statewide calendar and only one event was ever added. That's right. That's true. But I think like, that's why let's see if we can get somebody to kind of specifically ask us to come to something, And I don't know, maybe nobody's doing anything. In that case, I mean, that's a different problem.
Now it's officially COVID gone, according to Biden, but COVID's still very much out there.
Yeah.
Who knows what's going to happen?
But the midterms,
I'll be right back.
COVID and the midterms at the same time. And one of them had to go. Okay, so, I mean, Mia, if we don't want to take up time with this right now, maybe you and I can kind of go over it later, but I don't know how to send an email to everybody. Campaigns, yep. Oh, so I guess it needs, okay. Yeah, I think it was just asking for my information first. Let me do that. Upload a picture. Oh, no.
Anybody else have any thoughts while he's doing that? Because he said, it's probably going to be a slow process, which might be very true.
Yeah, listen, if anybody thinks I'm like being too pushy or anything like that, please let me know.
Did y'all hear that?
I did.
That's my neighbor across.
Oh, okay.
Crazy. I'm gonna close my window. She's really loud. So are we officially deciding to table the social event, I'm assuming, for November? Mia had suggested trying to do a virtual event, but we'd have to plan a date and a time and invite people and see if anybody shows up for that.
Mia says, I don't understand why we went all in on this vote for a physical event when we barely communicate as a group outside of meetings. And Yoshi's in favor of a virtual event.
So if we do a virtual event, when would we be looking to do that? Like how soon? Sometime in the fall still? Because even a virtual event's gonna take time in terms of like planning the date and what we want to do. Or do we just want to have like a meet and greet, like? Because ideally, originally we were gonna have another conference, whether it be the same or different than the last format, sometime like in the spring next year. The last one was May 14th. Any thoughts? Suggestions?
I don't know what a virtual event would look like in terms of what would we be doing exactly? Just having a meeting? I mean, what kind of virtual event?
It says, yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Yoshi said, I think we invite mutual
Can
aid
you hear
group
me?
to. Yeah,
Okay, I'm not going to talk for very long because my throat is killing me. But a virtual event can be like membership drives, inviting other people to come talk about their groups and their stories of mutual aid, bringing in the community to learn about the different groups in the state and what they're doing. Um, it could really be beneficial for a lot of groups to kind of talk about what they're doing, and it will be recorded because we'll use our Zoom account, obviously, and we can just put that on YouTube and attract more people that way.
if we do something like that, we might want to do it on a weekend so it doesn't interfere with other groups, like weekly meetings or whatever. Because I know I have meetings almost every night. So basically, it would just be like, hi, we're from Central Jersey DSA. Here's what we do. Mutual aid, and another group would tell what they do, like that kind of thing. Not like where they're doing like something specific, but just telling each other about each other's groups. And really, like, how soon would we want to do this? Because we have the two dates for the social event being November 12th and 19th, that one in the poll. Would we be able to realistically do something like this by those dates? Mia said it would be open to the public to get to know the groups in the state. We can also invite, hold on, it disappeared. We can also invite panelists.
I'm sending this email. I'm using my name since like it's a little bit more personal than just saying like, hello, I am Solidarity Network.
Mhm.
See how it looks. Okay. Oh, babe.
So the gray cat whose name I always forget.
Oh, they're both great. Mozart and Delilah.
Oh, there's two of them.
Yeah. You mostly see Mozart though. He's the much more social one.
Likes to play the keyboard.
Yep. He was literally right next to me.
Mozart is a cutie.
He's now licking my computer. We do not know why.
Probably don't want to.
Probably don't.
Good boy.
Okay, I think that's sent out. Let's see if anybody can confirm.
Oh, and I requested a spreadsheet from Mia about like the different tech things that we have. And she made the spreadsheet for that. I don't know how to copy it and put it into the drive without redoing it sort of, but I will send that in the next email too. It's just, you know, because we have the Lumio and the email and the Click and something else. So
Okay.
just to get everyone familiar, because that's also something we could tell other groups about if they want to join. Like, we have these services that you can be part of. Ooh. There's more enthusiasm, obviously. Please don't send it in those weekly emails. Okay. Then never mind.
Oh, so I guess that's weird. So I guess it doesn't send right away because it says we'll begin sending on September 30th at, you know, like, I guess 12:55 and 35 seconds. So I guess people will be getting a late night email. I don't know why that happened, but whoops. Also, is this somebody's address at the bottom? Someone in Hillside? Oh, okay. Should I have changed that? Oh, look at you. Okay. Did not know. Boy, glad we got around that one, huh? Not spam if you use Mia's old address. Okay. All right, so I guess maybe around 1 in the morning, we'll all get emails, maybe.
You said it just went out.
Oh, good. Wow, 15% already opened.
That's even quicker than I do it.
Yeah, really.
So our main focus right now, I guess, is really just building the network. Hoping to get some more people involved in the planning, but even if people don't get involved in the planning, just getting groups to link up with us so we can spread the word.
Oh, so Mia, so it looks like it's going to go to your account. Any responses? So just keep an eye out. And we'll see. At least now we've kind of put out one fishing line and see if anybody bites.
Good. Can't think of anything else new. Oh, we also have the option of texting now. Mia said. Are we able to do mass texts? The email program released a marketing program for SMS today. Anybody else have any ideas, suggestions, thoughts, comments, complaints?
I guess the email went out twice and I'm not sure why. But okay.
While we're all here, let me see if I got it. Usually they go into promotions for me
Oh, we were
in a Gmail account. No, it actually went to my primary this time. Solidarity Network NJ, how can we help? That's a good sign. Oh, we already have responses. Wow. I guess that was a good idea.
We'll see what the responses are. Hopefully they're not like, you know,
Yeah.
F
Screw you.
off and leave me alone. Eat, poop, and die.
So if we have positive responses, then we have to seriously think about a date and time. Or we could put that out for, well,
that's the thing, right? That if somebody has a response, like if there's something that someone already is doing that has like some, you know, some future event already, that's kind of our next thing, and we can just see if we can show up at that, whoever can. Oh, sorry, I missed the screenshot. 1 second. Oh, okay, not exactly an event, but it's good. It's a good start.
what is it?
It's from Renee. I think she was with Mutual Morris, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Money needed. We need to raise $600 total for 2 families this weekend. Maria needs $300 to move into a new apartment after a fire in her previous one. She's already earned $400 and just needs the remainder to move in. Okay.
When it comes to requests for money, we might get a lot of those because that seems to be the primary thing people need.
Well, yeah, actually, yeah, Mia, that's what I was just gonna say. It is on her social media. I saw it today, actually. So, yeah, if we can at least like, if nothing else, signal boost what people like Renee or whoever is, you know, sharing with something like this, like that's not nothing. You know, I think if we start showing people that we're a partner, that we're on their side, they'll be a lot more willing to join in.
Yeah, we could do that as a normal policy whenever we see something that someone's asking for. If it's a group we know or like if they're part of the network, we could post that.
Yeah, with their permission, of course.
Yeah. We want to be careful not to have like, you know, scammers post on.
Right.
It's hard to vet stuff though.
It's hard to vet stuff, although generally speaking, if I see like campaigns from people as part of the network, you know, I know they're legit. Like we know that these people are they're doing this, you know.
We get some through Central Jersey Mutual Aid or TSA Mutual Aid.
Mhm.
People request money sometimes or other help.
Yeah. That's fine. I mean, that's the whole idea of this, so you know, mutual aid network.
Yes, I just offered to send an email to everyone that's sharing on their story.
The
So I guess with that, we'll see what replies we get over the next day or so.
yeah, I mean, considering it's only been like 5 minutes,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, we'll see. And you know, maybe also follow up and say like, hey, this is great. By the way, is your organization doing anything else besides this? I think, like I said, I think she's with Mutual Morris. Am I wrong about that? Can somebody confirm?
She was there when we did the network, because we had a meeting with them about consensus and things like that.
Right, okay. I feel like I should, yeah.
I mean, so I feel like I should write my story with mutual aid and how I got involved, and others should do that and how it builds strength in the community.
That could be a good event, like either in person or virtual, just like a share your mutual aid story,
How did you get here? Yeah, because I had help from groups that are like the church and stuff that aren't officially like mutual aid groups, but do mutual aid work. Through the church, I met Central Jersey Coalition Against Endless War, which is where I met Sam, who got me into socialism, and Yoshi, who got me into DSA, which got me here.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's whatever anybody is comfortable sharing, but in some way, we all have an experience with mutual aid, whether, how were we introduced to the concept? Like, I think for me, the first time I ever heard about mutual aid was back in March of 2020. I was living in an apartment building, and it was like kind of a small, like a bunch of buildings, but like each one was fairly small. And it just like occurred to me that like I didn't really know who else was in that building with me. I didn't know if they were going to be able to go out and get groceries or, run errands that they need. I didn't know what their needs were. So like I wrote letters and I just dropped one on each, on everybody's doorstep. And tried to get like a text thing going on. And, a few people answered, most didn't. But that was sort of the first time it like occurred to me that there was a concept of mutual aid. All right, well,
Yeah, mutual aid. Like I said, because I literally got involved because I had no money for food, and within hours I had someone deliver food that was healthy and vegan. It was even vegan. Mutual aid has been so inclusive that I actually feel like a community member. I was poor, homeless, and like unemployed when I first started working with DSA. So I was like a client in a way, and still like doing mutual aid, and it kind of helps. I mean, I said I have no clue what mutual aid. I had no clue what mutual aid was, but after that experience, she wanted to be involved as much as possible, which is why we're all here, I guess.
another question. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
So I'll hang up while he's gone. Yeah, it's not a bad idea though to have us, whoever was willing to write their story down.
So I'm just kind of throwing ideas out here and sort of take them for what they cost you. We could even have like a discussion of, short little book. I haven't actually read it yet. I bought it a while ago. But might be kind of good just to like, all right, we're all doing mutual aid. What is mutual aid? What do we think about it? What is Mr. Spade? Yeah, was it you I suggested? Yes, you did, Mia. So yeah, credit to Mia. But this is like, from what I can tell, seems to be like the mutual aid Bible. And from what I've heard, like people could probably sit down and read this in like half an hour, 9 hours, 14 hours. Yeah. So I think what we would do, Mia, that's a great question. How can we overcome the members that may not be able to afford the books? I would say check and see if any local libraries carry it, and we can maybe do that work and say, hey, here are libraries in New Jersey that do have it. If no libraries have it, maybe what we can do is sort of like a precursor to doing a reading event would be like almost all libraries you can recommend books to them, and we can do a drive where basically we go around to the various libraries and we like recommend, like we fill out the forms to get this book in their you know, in their circulation. Or that too. Or yeah, she says Peter Kropotkin's book is free due to copyright expired. So yeah, we could do that one. It doesn't have to be this book. It could be, you know, that one. I don't know that one well. Maybe some other people do, but I do remember that one came up when we had the conference. Actually, people were talking about that during lunch. Okay. Yeah. Yoshi says that's usually where the term is credited.
I don't have the time to read books anymore, but I'm all for having book club and having people read it.
Yeah. So I mean, the way that my when my friend and I did a book club back a while ago, the kind of ethos of it was that like, come as you are, right? If you can read the whole book, fantastic. If you can read a chapter, great. If you've never heard of the book, never picked it up, never opened a page, that's okay too. Come and talk about it with us. You know, get something out of it, whatever it means to you. So, you know, yeah, Mark, if you don't have time to read it, that's okay. That's fine. Because you also have a lot of, you know, direct knowledge of mutual aid. Yoshi, could you elaborate on that a bit, maybe?
The term mutual aid is usually a like I guess the modern understanding of mutual aid came out of Peter Kropotkin's book, because his book was called Mutual Aid. It was basically a reaction to the way in which Charles Darwin's evolution was being used to justify like dog eat dog, like survival of the fittest. And he felt that if Charles Darwin was able to like, I guess, write another book and actually talk about the cooperation, that we wouldn't be in the shitty situation we are today, where like the bourgeoisie just say like, oh, you gotta like compete, because that's the way of the world. That's why the subtitle of Kropotkin's book was A Factor of Evolution, Mutual Aid, A Factor of Evolution. And in the preface, he also actually, you know, reproduces like some of the part in which like Darwin was talking about mutual aid. And that's the problem with like putting stuff out into the world, right? Like if you don't like defend your ideas rigorously, someone is going to co-opt it, and that's what happened. But my understanding is like in Russia, like there were a lot of I guess evolutionary biologists and whatnot or something like that, who for them they resisted the European interpretation of Darwin's Origin of the Species. What they said was like, we've the way in which the world works is like everyone works together, because like in order to succeed, it's not competition, but the organized community supporting one another, and hence mutual aid. And it's quite moving. Like he talks about how, like, studying the Siberia with all, this is like one of the harshest environments, very cold, very short growing cycles, but that it seems like all kinds of animals are in a sense kind of working with one another. Like it is not the Siberian wolf is just like committing like huge massacres, because like in the end you only should the aim is like to hunt for what you need, not what you need to do in order to produce mass profits for the bourgeoisie.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, there was that whole social Darwinism of people like Mathis, who was a major player in that era of trying to say that actually the problem is that there are just too many people out there in the world, and we should just let a lot of them die. Very unpleasant. So yeah, by the way, both books are available, not maybe in print, but like if I go onto the sort of library network that I think most libraries, at least in this part of New Jersey, I don't know about others, use, they're at least available digitally. So even if somebody couldn't get them, in print, they could at least have access to them that way. So does anybody have any strong preference between Dean Spade and Kropotkin? Am I saying that right? Yeah, Kropotkin for a first discussion. Right. So, yeah, for both we can get them. People should be able to get them for free.
Also, if I might suggest something, a couple of political education that we've done with Central Jersey DSA so far is there's a video link that is like shared with those who have registered, and people can watch this video, and Sudeep has been leading the political education by also providing some additional context with his presentation. So that can be accessible for people without having to buy books. Or if we want to consider buying books, which I think is also a good thing, that we just plan for that later. Right now, we just go for the free stuff. There is, Dean Spade had given several presentation for the Barnard College in New York City on the subject of mutual aid, specifically on the book that he wrote. And also I think he shared his organizing as part of mutual aid networks. So that's my suggestion.
But we also have like videos available. So maybe let me throw this out there as sort of an alternative idea, maybe a little bit of a decentralized concept of like, instead of maybe having a book discussion where everybody reads the same book and then discusses it, maybe what we do is like a little bit of a show and tell where, people pick a book, a video, an article, whatever it is, something to do with mutual aid, come in and like tell us about it. What did you learn from it? I know it's sounding a little bit like school now, but it might open up the possibilities for people to one, to kind of introduce the topic, learn about the topic from other people, but also for anybody looking for resources on mutual aid and to learn about them. It has the added benefit of we can learn from each other, like how everybody understands mutual aid, what sources they're looking at. Yeah, I mean, I had not heard of Kropotkin until we had the conference. And honestly, I forgot about him until Yoshi, you just mentioned him just now. So, that could be a really useful thing too. I don't know if that's an idea people like.
I think show and tell is good, but however, I would venture to say it is best that the person doing the show and tell also provide the source material that they're going to present on, so that no one is feeling left out. I've seen many book clubs where the person presenting what they learned from the book and everyone else, because they don't have access to the book, or they didn't even know the book that was to be presented on, and it was just it was just I don't know the metaphor for it. Anyways, it was just like silence. It wasn't very generative, I would say.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would say like if it's a book, some people are probably going to be familiar with them, and maybe we can like contrast them and have a discussion where it's like, how does what you're bringing kind of connect to what this other person is saying? Like, I think that's kind of fruitful for discussion since we're all reading on the same topic or watching things on the same topic. If it's a video and if it's short enough, by all means, like, let's watch it together.
The old website, Mia says the old website had LMS. People could create courses for things like this. I can add it to the new website if that is wanted. Did anyone ever use that to add courses? I don't know if we have enough people using the website that they would do that at this point, but I have no objection to having it.
Okay. Looks like we're sort of coming to the end of our time. So can we talk about maybe what we'd like to accomplish for next week? So I think for me, what I'll probably do is one, I guess for the whole group, let's see who kind of comes in with any like requests from the organizations, from the whole network, with any kind of ideas for initiatives we might want to join in on. Donating money is good, but it's not exactly the kind of engagement that we're looking for necessarily. It's good. I I'll write up a couple ideas, like short kind of proposals for a book club or a book presentation or video presentation, whatever. And then like maybe we can kind of vote on them, like what versions of that kind of people like best, if that's okay.
Yeah, that could work. Give people a chance to like look at it and think about it.
Yeah.
Especially because it's 9:25. I don't know if we're gonna finalize anything in the next 5 minutes.
No, that's what I'm saying. Is like I'll write something up with a couple different like versions of events.
If she says it sounds good.
Sorry, I was looking at the chat. Okay. Does anybody have any closing thoughts?
Is it nap time?
All right.
Um,
Is anybody gonna be mad if we end 4 minutes early, 5 minutes early?
take silence as a no.
All right. Motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Seconded. Anybody object? Going once, going twice. Okay.
Night, everybody.
All right. Well, thanks, everyone.